That's okay. My name is Christopher. I play in a band called the Ataris.
And so what do you have to say about your upcoming release?
We have a new album called The Graveyard of the Atlantic. It should be coming out sometime midsummer this year on a label from Gainesville, Florida called Paper and Plastic. We like the label because they like to put out some... Their releases lean more towards cool art and design. They put out a lot of print, like a lot of books, and then mostly vinyl, and then they do the digital medium for the people who on the turntable. So as a guy at 35, I really feel like we always record everything analog. I like to record free of Pro Tools and Auto-Tune and all that. Everything's done on tape. Everything's done organic and honest. And so when it comes to a label that specializes in vinyl, that really means a lot to me. And packaging, because I do photography, and that side of things is important to me as well.
That hits home with me for real. I
Thanks.
appreciate that. How would you compare the upcoming release to, say, Welcome to the Night, if you were to transition?
With every album, everything is different. I always feel like you have to keep moving forward. So, I mean, this album, sounds nothing like anything we've done, yet I feel fans of the old will love it, and I feel, or at least it's my assumption, that they, based off of the 2 7-inch we released of All Souls Day and the title track, the response was really positive. And I think kids that weren't a fan of Welcome to the Night will dig this album, and people who like the big kind of atmospheric, shoegazy kind of breakdown, loud, quiet, loud parts in our songs will dig these songs, because I try to leave a lot of room for me to just play guitar and back away from the mic. I mean, to me the hardest thing is, just not having room to kind of step aside and be a guitar player.
I sing and play guitar too, I understand.
Usually I write myself in a corner where, every minute there's the verse, the chorus, the verse, and my favorite songs live are like the ones with like the big epic, like where we kind of break it down and, get and build and there's the big delays and reverbs, and that stuff's fun. And not that, just telling the story isn't fun, but a lot of the times you're playing places where people can't hear the fucking lyrics in the mic anyway. So, when I'm out playing acoustic, I tend to lean towards the songs that have more of a strong narrative. And when I'm playing with the full band, we try to play some of these songs like the ending of Summer Wind or Your Boyfriend Sucks. Those only make sense with the full band, and when I play those songs acoustically, they're something totally different. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So how is this tour going for you guys?
We're about 7 shows in. We've started in El Paso, and we're working our way east, going all the way, making a big loop in the United States, and it's our first tour since October 2010, and I'm excited, to be back out with the band. I've been working on an album all last year, and also did a bunch of acoustic touring. I'll probably do some more of that late this year, but for the most part, the focus right now is just finish the album. And,
stop here.
Yeah,
I'll be here.
Yeah, we'll probably do some shows.
All right, what is your most favorite tour story from over all the past years? If you had to just pick something random and hilarious.
It's hard to pick one. Okay, the first one that comes to mind. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's the first one I think of. I'm not much for like debauchery or stupid rock star shit. I definitely like to play practical jokes though. And one night I think I had just severe boredom. Me and our old drummer, we were playing Nerf football. You're right, man. You walk through.
Man, I'm going to take his picture in peace.
Oh, no, we're going to go.
We're doing an interview.
Sweet.
It's like, it's an interview. But anyway, we were in Pittsburgh, PA, and we were playing Nerf football. But I was on like the 6th floor of some Holiday Inn, and there was like an outside patio balcony, and he was down in the parking lot. So we kept, passing back and forth, and then he started like throwing it real hard and trying to hit me with it really hard, and he's wailing it at me. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna come back with something even harder. I looked around the room to see what else I could throw, and I saw this fucking recliner, and I was like, okay. And he's like, come on, throw the goddamn ball. And then, sorry.
Dude, badass show.
Thanks so much, appreciate it.
Love you.
And so he's like, throw the goddamn ball. And next thing he knows is he's like waiting to see a Nerf football coming down at him, and he sees this recliner, big recliner chair, and I mean like huge, like you see in a living room, just swirling around. It shatters into a million pieces. And so we're like, oh shit, what do we do? So all of us in the room, like we already checked that, we like run down the elevator, and there was some like 80-year-old woman at the front desk that was like, hey, she goes, did you guys
here's some kids making a ruckus, because I heard some kids outside making a ruckus. I'm like, yeah, they're up on the 6th floor right now. They're running through the halls naked. That was that. I don't know. Yeah, that's first came to mind. But
I like it.
I think as I get older, it'll get more boring, but usually my nights consist of I drive the van, we drive all night, we sleep till about 6 in the evening, go over the show, sit around, set our shit up, and then drive again. That's my night. Talk to people, sell merch. I do that. So yeah, it's a little bit more mundane, but it's still fun. It's the only thing I ever want to do.
Absolutely.
We all loaded up, or are we good?
What okay, from the beginning to now, you've gone from like a punkish pop punk to
It wasn't preconceived. It was always sheerly, you know, when I started this band, I was like 14, so it's all a natural evolution of like maybe what I was listening to, but I mean,
go ahead.
Oh yeah, you're fine. But I mean, you know, it was never something that
Let's just make a punk.
No, it was when I was 13. You know, I discovered the Ramones or the Clash or the Descendants or the Replacements, and so obviously when you're first discovering a band, it has this giant impact on you, like it never will again. You know, and now when I go back and listen to Jawbreaker or whatever, Sam I Am or whoever, it means a lot to me, but I don't go out and write 10 songs that are inspired by that.
Like you would have.
Yeah, because I'm hearing it for the very first time then. So now musically, I mean, I guess if you look at our Facebook page, like it's got a kind of wide array of what we're into collectively, but I tend to listen to a lot of like, you know, good old country singer-songwriter stuff, and then I also love like, you know, a lot of the like dreamy shoegaze stuff, and then I love like Wilco and Radiohead, and you know, stuff that's a little. I get more inspiration from that world. Granted, this album's a more organic rock and roll album, but I would kind of compare it, if you're going to compare it to like modern rock bands today, I'd say the bands that I like today of that genre, like what you would call punk, that I call rock or whatever, like Against Me, Gaslight Anthem are really good. What's that? Yeah, that kind of stuff is really, it's more organic, and it's you know, very, very natural guitar tones, and you know, it sounds real, and it's also got the vibe of what I liked growing up. But as far as like what a lot of people call punk these days, I find no inspiration in it, and I don't really relate to it, because it's what has happened is it's became more about fashion, and
it's all
really,
pop,
really tight and poppy and polished, and that doesn't speak to me as much as like say the first time I heard, you know, whatever.
I want to grow up and show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. So what can we expect from here on out from the Ataris?
Well, a lot of touring this year, not just America but overseas. But I mean, right now, 2 months of touring in the States. We're doing some East Coast shows with this band The Queers and Far From Finished, and then we loop back through and we play some more shows in the Midwest, and then after that, get the album out in the summer, and then that's about it. I mean, just more the same. You know, I released an acoustic album last November. If you want to check that out, that's donation only at theataris.bandcamp.com. And if you need tour dates, go. I run our Facebook. It's just Facebook, The Ataris, and that's where you can find about any info on new music or anything. That's about it for us.
We typically end interviews on like 2 random questions.
Okay, sure.
One at you. Who is your favorite superhero? Whether it's comic, video game.
Sure. I was never a comic guy. Definitely, I was a nerd of epic proportions, but superhero. Yeah, I don't know. You said video game. I mean, I don't know. I spend most of my for a question like that. Like I said, I'm never into any kind of superheroes or anything. But I guess if I have to choose one, I mean, I like the original Superman movies, like the you know, the ones from like late '70s, early '80s. The first couple were really great. Those were good, but I mean, video games. I mean, you know, anything that was like 8-bit old video games, like you know, first Nintendo system was great.
Old Zelda.
Yeah, that was great. I don't know if you call him Link a superhero, but he was fucking awesome.
He was a badass.
Yeah, like Legend of Zelda and Contra and all those old 8-bit games are great. I just bought one of those USB controllers from a MacBook that looks like an 8-bit Nintendo controller, so I can now at least feel like I'm playing the ROMs like on a Nintendo. And at Urban Outfitters now you can buy a system that has Genesis, 8-bit, and the Super NES all in one. It's got like a 3-in-1. Yeah, but you still have to blow on those suckers though. It sucks. I'm like all day long, like, when I'm like lightheaded and gonna pass out. So I'm like, but and then what's the last one?
What are your current views on the political state of America?
Well, I voted for Obama, and as I thought, you know, the guy I was voting for was a really great guy, and then the guy that suddenly was in office was not the guy I voted for anymore, and he turned into a normal politician, which was really sad because I felt he really created some hope in some people, and that he was going to be a politician for the people. So right now, I really think Ron Paul is a great guy, and I think the fact that he wants to audit the Fed and fucking abolish the tax in America. I think that's a really radical view for a guy that is now running as a Republican, but I don't think enough people can get behind that guy because they're so used to voting for a sheep like Mitt Romney or his
Absolutely.
So sadly, this country is going to see more of the same. And I wish we had a little bit more liberal views like Europe or some places that did feel more humanitarian, that it's a government for the people. But even places like that, I mean, Italy had Berlusconi, who was like a fucking terrible guy, and everybody hated him. Whenever we were there, we would see like graffiti about it, and they hated him like we hated Bush, But yeah, I hope for real change. But sadly, man, this country hasn't seen it in a long time. Yeah. Just get motivated, vote, and hopefully these Occupy people, can get it together and put that towards some kind of channel it. Yeah, exactly. Because Tea Party people are sure,
Well, do you have any last words you want to say to the
Last
people?
words? I don't know. Hopefully these aren't my last words. We got a lot more left to accomplish. But thanks a lot for listening to our band. We appreciate it. Hope to see you somewhere on the road. Cheers. Have a good night.